All right, happy Father's Day, everyone. June 20th, 2021, Father's Day. Went out to Domnarski Farms today to test my mettle in a 6-hour mountain bike. It didn't end up being 6 hours for me. It ended up being 5 hours and 7 minutes total. Because you have to, there's a cutoff, like you have to be able to finish the last lap inside of the 6 hours in order to go out for it. And he set the cutoff at 2:05. I came in 2 minutes behind that particular cutoff, but really, if I wanted to make the last lap, I would had to have come in 10 or 15 minutes before that, realistically. But what a day, what a course. So they told me, they said, this is probably the hardest cross-country course you're gonna do out here. Or might ever do. And it was that rough. There were portions that, unless you were world level, you're walking them. And I am super beginner. So yeah, I'm not making those. But it was a good time. And as a testament to, I guess, how tough this course is, like yesterday they had 4 broken bones. One person had to, they were jettisoned or taken away from a helicopter. Guy's got a helipad on his farm, which is nuts. That was just yesterday, and it rained last night. Course was wet, a little slick today, so it was a little sketchy. Very soft and kind of slow, at least in the beginning of the day. Very slippery toward the end of the day as we were dragging stuff up. But yeah, man, it felt amazing to get out there in the woods and kind of hammer away. I did my first lap really hesitant because I'm still very new, I'm still learning this super technical course, and I wanted to have fun today. I didn't want to race it, and so it was almost an 80-minute time. And I saw that it was like 79 and change, and I'm like, okay, if I put that on repeat, like, I'm not gonna make cutoff, whatever, for that 5th lap. The goal is 4 laps anyway. I have no idea what, effort level is gonna look like, how many, from a calorie burn perspective, like comparing it to road riding or running or things like that. Like, I don't know what it's gonna look like. So this is all still super data collection to me while I'm out there trying to enjoy myself. And we get out there for that first lap. I hit that 79 and change, we'll call it 80 minutes. And I felt really good after the first lap. I had stopped in the middle at the top of a big climb, took a little break, took a breath. When I got done with the lap, like, I took a moment. When I say a moment, I mean like 4 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. They feel longer though. So I take that moment, like, eat, and it's the beginning of the day, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm gonna be good for the rest of the day. Get into that second lap, and I realize, like, oh, I know some of this territory now. I remember this, so I can go a little harder. And I started, because I'm on flat pedals, I can't clip in, which makes all of the climbs insanely hard. And it makes the flats really hard. And actually that first lap, even though it wasn't like super crazy hard, and I was still very hesitant, my back was lighting up, and I'm like, damn, this happens whenever I'm on flats and just mashing on the pedals. Or like, it'll happen if your seat's a little too low and you have to dig in way too hard and you can't really pull. So my back is lighting up because I can't maintain a real stride. And so I'm starting to tilt it down and pull on the pedal itself to try and kind of recreate some of that pull. And I start clipping my toes on rocks. Not nice. Not nice at all. So I can't do that. I gotta, before I can start getting into the pulling, I gotta get my sneakers, but I'm still waiting on those. which kind of sucks, but this is really good training doing it without it. It's gonna make me, you know, a much more well-rounded rider when I finally do have them, because this is forcing me to put the pedals in certain positions in order to accomplish certain obstacles, and even the climbs, to finish the push all the way through in order to achieve the climb and get the pedal on the other side to a position where I can start to use it and maintain momentum. Like, it's really interesting how all of these things come into play for just like biking up a hill and through the woods. So yeah, I took 3 major diggers. They were not my only falls, but they were the hard ones. I took one straight into a tree, just took a corner, hit a rock the wrong way, tried to recover, and hi, tree. It was not okay. I had one where I was being lazy. I had taken my hand off of the handlebar, went to drink. This is not one of the 3, but I went to drink, and the handlebar clipped a tree on the side. It was like just a little skinny one, but it dragged the handles over and started to throw me and the bike to one side. I didn't end up going down, but I hit some stuff that it didn't feel nice. The second big one, I was on like a kind of a 2x8, and I just slipped off to the side and just fell over sideways. Like, it was not nice. I was trying to get over an obstacle, made a mistake, slipped the tire off the bridge, and you know, when you slip off a bridge, you're going down, and I went down hard. But that one it wasn't really painful. It was just good for a laugh. Got up, kept going. And the funny one is the very last lap, one of the bridges was washed out, so you had to make a choice. You're either walking through this river, or you're trying to ride it. And everyone all day was walking it once it was kind of washed out. Well, I say everyone all day, but a few of us tried to ride it. It was not rideable. The front wheel dug straight down, because you're going into water, right? So you can't see what's under the water. You don't know what's there. Wheel goes straight down, 3/4 of the way into the water. So you're talking that deep at least, almost 2 feet, and just hits a rock that's slanted backward. So it's like a stop rock, right? It just stops the bike. And when it stopped the bike, well, I still have a lot of momentum, and guess where I'm going? Over the handlebars and into the river. Took a nice little swim on that one. That was fun. I was kind of mad at myself, actually, even though I knew I was taking that risk. But then when I got up, I was like, you know what? Whatever. You hit water, have a laugh. Like, you're cooled off now. You can go. So I think the thing that I'm most proud of today is, even though I missed the cutoff for the 5th lap by 2 minutes, I got the 4 laps that I wanted, and I had a shot at the cutoff, knowing that going back, there was probably about 10 minutes of break time that I didn't have to take, which means I probably had an opportunity to not only come in under the cap, but if I had started assertively, maybe even getting that 5th one in under the 6 hours. Probably not that far. But it's kind of good. You know, it's real. I feel really, really proud and really good looking at it like that. If I'm leaderboarding, I was in 9th place, whatever. If I'm comparing myself to some of the other people who are out there in a 6-hour race, being 10 to 15 minutes, let's see, I think I was about 14 minutes behind some people that I consider, you know, that I hold in very, very high esteem. And that to me, just even being in the same world makes me proud to come out here and do something like this. And it makes me feel really good about where I'm at. So come October, if I can just kind of keep up the once a week getting in the woods and training obstacles and learning those things, I think I'm going to be great, because that cross country course is going to be, you know, there's a technical section every day, but that technical section is just a section. Much of it is much more cross country riding than what I did today. This was like epic. I also thought it was really cool that he told me, he's like, yeah, you can go out for that last lap, but you're not going to make it before 6, so your time is what your time is. But you can go. And I actually almost went, but then I prioritized hanging out with them, because if I had gone, I would have been, you know, they would have been waiting on me at the very end, and I was like, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to have a great day, have a good ride, and then hang out afterwards. So Doug and Mary went out for their 5th. John and I finished our 4, and we hung out, waited for Doug and Mary, and then we all kind of got to hang out after the race, which that part of it's fantastic, and I'm looking forward to some more of that in South Africa in October. But some takeaways today. Grapes were a fantastic grabber on the ride. For a loop like that, it was easy to keep them in a cooler and just shove some in between laps. Twizzlers, not mountain biking food. They take too long to chew, and you have to constantly reach for one at a time. Lifesavers gummies, those were clutch. Kept them in a baggie. They were easy to grab by the handful, pop them in. I could do that after I finished a big climb, just settle my heart rate slightly, and then reach into the bag and boom, go. And if I just made sure I hit something like that every 20 to 30 minutes, that was good enough. The ready rice, I did that before the 2nd lap. That was like rocket fuel. Man, I love ready rice for endurance events. I wanted to do it before I started the day though, but I was too full. I knew that if I had eaten it, it would have made me feel like crap for the first round. So that's what I actually took the break for after that first lap, was to eat some ready rice. The oats were fantastic, but again, that's like stop and eat food. So if you're trying to race the whole thing, probably not the right thing. The orange juice concentrate in the bag in the back, that was perfect. Mixing exactly the amount of salt that I needed into it. Couldn't have asked for better. When we got done, could have pretty much eaten anything. It's whatever, but I was shocked because my ride time was only like 4 hours and 44 minutes. The rest was kind of breakage or pause time. We'll probably round that up to about 450. Just because I had my auto pause on and it got weird when I would have to get off the bike and run. And I'm sure there was at least 5 minutes of that. But I learned so much today. So much. I think one of the things that surprised me most is in a 5-hour event, like if I go out onto the road for 5 hours, and even if I'm cranking like pretty hard, I'm only gonna get a few thousand calories, 2,000, 2,500 maybe, for 5 hours. Maybe if I push 20 miles per hour, like I might get it up there a little bit. I could probably push 2,500 to 3,000 ish. This was 4,000. 4,000 calories in the woods. That's, well, I mean, it doesn't matter that it's in the woods, but 4,000 calories. And what I noticed is that when there was all this climbing and stuff like that, like when I'm out on the road, it's easier to hit some climbing gears and keep the heart rate down. But in the woods, like I could hit some climbing gears, and you have to maintain a certain speed, a certain level of momentum to kind of keep going. And in order to maintain that momentum, I would have to get my heart rate into the 150s, 160s sometimes in order to keep going. And you just didn't have a choice. And so at the end of the day, that shakes out with a very, very high carb burn. And so I was very, very thankful for the orange juice concentrate, because that stuff is like crack. And that helped out a ton. So yeah, from a food perspective, that was kind of what I ended up consuming for most of the day. I had a few bags of fruit snacks in there too that were nice. It's nice to just kind of open it up and pop the whole thing in there and know, here, I got 100 calories, it's another 15 minutes worth of fuel. But I think, yeah, my very first mountain bike race, this is kind of like the video journal, right? Or race report, so to speak. Some things that really surprised me, some things I was super happy about. Every time I did the loop, I did it a little bit better. So I had a 79:36, the first one, 76:55, 75:33, and then 74:57. So I ran negative splits for the entire day. I love that. That's amazing. And I'm super happy about that. From a strength perspective, and like the way that I feel coming out of it too, like I feel good. So I don't think I'm gonna have to deload this week. I think Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm probably gonna be okay. But I tell you what, because the burn was so much higher, it's really interesting. Right now, I'm not hungry. I'm stressed, right? I'm not hungry at all, but I'm gonna go eat. And my guess is likely tomorrow. We'll see what happens, because it's like a rest day, so I'm gonna kind of back off, but likely tomorrow I'm gonna be hungry and have to put some extra in to start the week, as the recovery starts to happen. Yeah, but it was a great race day, kind of an awesome start to Father's Day. Now I'm gonna go pick Nico up, and I'm gonna grab him. We are gonna go get some ice cream and kind of kick off the night with him and I together. So happy Father's Day, guys. I hope your day is going wonderful. And if you decided to kind of stick this out for the whole thing, maybe you had a little takeaway from it. I know I have an enormous number of takeaways from today, but it was so much fun. So much fun. Find your smile, guys. Happy Father's Day.